Hi, it's Natasha N.K.O, 17th July 2355, reading from African Tales. So far I've read 10 of them. I've read Kwaku, Anansi and a Soul, Akenda and Barney, The Cock, Tale of a Lantern, The Favoured Daughter, The African, Shamil and Shamilia, Half a Cock, The Boy and the Girl, Mbiwa and Nkama. I'm reading today called The Twin Brothers, so it's the 11th tale. It's from Fiote in the Republic of Congo. A certain woman, after prolonged labour, gave birth to twins, both sons, and each one, as he was brought forth, came into the world with a valuable charm. One of the sons the mother called Luemba, the other Mavungo, and they were almost fully grown at their birth, so that Mavungo, the firstborn, wished to start upon his travels. Now, about this time, the daughter of Nzambi, note 42, the daughter of Nzambi was ready for marriage. The leopard came and offered himself in marriage, but Nzambi told him that he must speak to her daughter himself, and she should marry only the man of her choice. Then the leopard went to the girl and asked her to marry him, but she refused. And the gazelle and the pig and all created things that had breath, one after the other, asked the daughter in marriage. But she refused them all, saying that she did not love them. And they were all very sad. Mavungo heard of this girl and determined to marry her. So he called upon his charm and asked it to help him. Then he took some grass in his hands and changed one blade of grass into a horn, another into a knife, another into a gun, and so on until he was quite ready for the long journey. Then he set out and travelled until at last hunger overcame him. He asked his charm whether it was true that he was going to be allowed to starve. The charm hastened to place a sumptuous feast before him, and Mavungo ate and was satisfied. "Oh, charm," said Mavungo, "are you going to leave these beautiful plates that I have used for the use of any commoner who might come along?" The charm immediately caused all to disappear. Then Mavungo travelled and had to ask his charm to arrange a place for him where he might sleep, and the charm saw to his comfort, so that he passed a peaceful night. After many days' weary travelling, he at length arrived at Nzambi's town, and Nzambi's daughter saw Mavungo and at once fell in love with him. She ran to her mother and father and cried, "I have seen the man I love, and I shall die if I do not marry him." Then Mavungo sought out Nzambi and told her that he had come to marry her daughter. "Go and see her first," said Nzambi, "and if she will have you, you may marry her." And when Mavungo and the daughter of Nzambi saw each other, they ran toward each other and loved one another. They were led to a fine house, and while all the people in the town danced and sang for gladness, Mavungo and the daughter of Nzambi slept there. In the morning, Mavungo noticed that the whole house was crowded with mirrors, but that each mirror was covered so that the glass could not be seen. He asked the daughter of Nzambi to uncover them so that he might see himself in them. She took him to one and opened it, and Mavungo immediately saw the perfect likeness of his hometown. She took him to another, and there he saw another town he knew. And she took him to all the mirrors save one, and this one she refused to let him see. "Why will you not let me look into that mirror?" asked Mavungo. "Because that is the picture of the town from which no man who wanders there returns." "Do let me see it," urged Mavungo. At last, the daughter of Nzambi yielded, and Mavungo looked hard at the reflected image of that terrible place. "I must go there," he said. "No, you will never return. Please don't go," pleaded the daughter of Nzambi. "Have no fear," answered Mavungo. "My charm will protect me." The daughter of Nzambi cried very much, but could not move Mavungo from his purpose. Mavungo then left his newly married wife, mounted his horse, and set off for the town from whence no man returns. He travelled until at last, as he came near to the town, he met an old woman and asked her for fire to light his pipe. "Tie up your horse first and come and fetch it," she said. Mavungo descended, and having tied his horse up very securely, he went to the old woman for the fire. And when he had come near her, she killed him, so that he disappeared entirely. Now Luemba wondered at the long absence of his brother Mavungo, and determined to follow him. So he took some grass, and with the aid of his charm, changed one blade into a horse, another into a knife, another into a gun, and so on until he was fully prepared for his journey. Then he set out, and after some days' journeying, arrived at Nzambi's town. Nzambi rushed out to meet him, and calling him Mavungo, embraced him. "No," said Luemba, "my name is not Mavungo. I am his brother Luemba." "Nonsense," answered Nzambi. "You are my son-in-law Mavungo." And immediately a great feast was prepared. Nzambi's daughter danced for joy and would not hear of his not being Mavungo. Luemba was greatly troubled and did not know what to do, as he was now sure that Nzambi's daughter was Mavungo's wife. When night came, Nzambi's daughter would sleep in Luemba's house, but he appealed to his charm, and it enclosed Nzambi's daughter in a room, lifting her out of Luemba's room for the night, bringing her back in the early morning. And Luemba's curiosity was aroused by the many closed mirrors that hung about the walls, so he asked Nzambi's daughter to let him look into them. She showed him all excepting one, and this, she told him, was the one that reflected the town whence no man returns. Luemba insisted on looking into this one, and when he had seen the terrible picture, he knew that his brother was there. Luemba determined to leave Nzambi's town for the town whence no man returns, and so, after thanking them all for his kind reception, he set out. They all wept loudly, but were consoled by the fact that he had been there once already and returned safely, so he could of course return a second time. Luemba travelled and travelled until he also came to the place where the old woman was standing, and he asked her for fire. She told him to tie up his horse and come to her to fetch it, but he tied his horse up only very lightly, and then fell upon the old woman and killed her. Then he sought his brother's bones and the bones of his horse. He put them together, then touched them with his charm. And Mavungo and his horse came to life again. Then together, Mavungo and Luemba joined together the bones of hundreds of people and touched them with their charms, so that they all lived again. Then they set off with all their followers to Nzambi's town. Luemba told Mavungo how he had been mistaken for him by his mother-in-law and wife, and how by the help of his charm he had saved his wife from dishonour. Mavungo thanked him and said it was well. Then a quarrel broke out between the two brothers about the followers. Mavungo said they were his because he was the elder, but Luemba said they belonged to him because he had given Mavungo and them life. Mavungo then fell upon Luemba and killed him, but Luemba's horse remained by his body. Mavungo then went on his way to Nzambi's town and was magnificently welcomed. Now Luemba's horse took his charm and touched Luemba's body so that he lived again. Then Luemba mounted his horse and sought his brother Mavungo and killed him. When the town had heard the story, they all said that Luemba had done rightly. The end.